Hello, welcome to the first episode ever of the Right Hand Gals podcast. It's Renee.
Woohoo! And it's Lyssa. Obviously, I'm excited.
And a little nervous, too.
a little bit. How are you feeling? I can't be the only one here with the jitters.
I'm feeling a little nervous. I'm feeling very excited to be able to, share our jobs. But this is, a pretty big day for us. This is the first podcast, first episode, and first time really sharing about our jobs.
That is a long list of firsts.
I know.
But yeah, I mean, I feel the same way. I'm excited. Honestly, this has been a long time coming. So the fact that we are sitting here on Zoom talking into microphones is a huge step.
Yeah, this has been Lyssa and I's baby for the past almost a year, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's been a long time.
We've been on countless FaceTime dates every night.
Yes.
Dreaming this podcast up and really trying to nail down our mission and vision statement for this podcast. Yeah. So it's kind of crazy to be able to know.
Yeah. I mean, it's very crazy because Renee and I are both assistants and assistants assist in things. And so for us to actually see this come to life, I think is just honestly, personally, I feel this is major growth. So I have to pat myself on the back. Good job to you too. We're doing this.
Thank you. Yeah, that's so true. We are definitely the people that make everything really pretty in a really nice box and then hand it to our creators and say, okay, there you go create something. And now that we are creating something, it is such a weird feeling.
Yeah, it really is. We're the girls who cross your T's and dot your I's and make sure everything is ready to go. So for us to be sitting here recording this, like I said, it's just a huge milestone for us. And I'm excited. I'm excited to connect with other people who are in similar roles to us and just make friends. Honestly, Renee and I kind of became as close as we did because she had the idea for this podcast. Can you please tell everybody how we became friends?
We became friends because I DM'd Lyssa and asked her what she did because an influencer reached out to me and asked if I wanted to be your assistant. And really fast, Lyssa, do you want to share why we created this podcast and what our dreams and hopes are for it?
Yeah, so Renee and I kind of found ourselves in similar situations before we knew each other. I've been in the industry for it'll be 4 years in June. And at that time, I know, that feels like forever, especially in this industry. But at that time, I had no idea what to expect in terms of the influencer world in general. I wasn't somebody who followed a whole bunch of influencers. And I saw a job posting for, I think it was a personal assistant role for an influencer. I think maybe it was a blogger, to be honest. 4 years ago, I feel like the term was probably blogger. And I was just super nosy about who it was that lived near me. I'm who is this? Living their life, being a blogger near me. I was not in the industry, had no idea about anything, and I had no resources at the time. And Renee, I know you had a really similar experience when you were kind of getting into the industry as well. So you had the idea to create this podcast. So we did it. Here we are. But I think our goal with this is definitely to kind of be a resource, to offer advice and encouragement to anybody, right-hand gals, right-hand pals. We are all-inclusive here. But anybody who's kind of looking to get into the industry, or maybe you're just curious about it, maybe you're already in the industry and you're kind of just looking for someone else to connect with who gets it, who gets the day-to-day, who gets what it's like during busy seasons, all of that. We're here to be your friends.
Yeah. And honestly, a little entertainment too, because especially if you work in the industry, we're not the girls that are in front of the camera all the time. So this is hilarious that we're doing this right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's totally why we started this, and kind of why I had the idea was like what Lyssa just said, is someone approached me to become their personal assistant in influencer marketing. And I was like, why does this person need an assistant? What am I going to be doing?
That's a good point, yeah.
I Googled, what does an influencer personal assistant do? And nothing came up.
Right.
And so then I went on YouTube and typed in like personal assistant or like social media manager. And of course, like all of those glamorous day in the life videos come up.
Yeah.
But that's not what you're doing as like an influencer assistant.
Yeah, it's totally different.
It was kind of like, I was nervous to even email back at that point, and I never ever want someone to feel the way that I felt, which was like,
yes,
very alone, and no one really like understands. I remember I told maybe like 2 people before I interviewed with the influencer, and just said like, I think I'm really excited about this, but I'm nervous as well. And I remember they were like, you're too good for a personal assistant role.
Yes.
And why would you go and do that? And in my head, I was thinking like, I don't know, but it sounds really exciting. And I'm the type of person that like, I just follow my gut. Like anything, like if I have a good feeling about it, it usually like turns out pretty good.
Yeah.
A pretty good intuition like that. And yeah, that's basically why we started it. And like, luckily it did work out. I interviewed with the influencer. We work together now. I was promoted, so I'm actually not an influencer assistant anymore, kind of similar to you, Lyssa.
Yeah. What's your role now?
Oh, God.
Do we know? Renee does not know what her job title is.
Oh, my gosh. I don't even know. It's on LinkedIn. I don't have my phone in this room, so I can't look at my LinkedIn account right now. Oh, my gosh, you guys. Okay, next week I swear I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, I'm going to quiz you in the next episode so we can all learn together.
I feel like I was doing so good, and then you asked me a question that like caught me off guard, and now I'm like, I don't know. What do I do? What's my role? Okay, I'll tell you next week. Honestly, I'm so nervous right now that I cannot remember what my role
you're
is.
Doing so good. We got this.
You caught me off guard.
Sorry, my bad.
Oi, okay, moving on. Do you want to give like a quick, like 5-second about you really fast?
Yes. Okay. Where do I start? I live in California. Fun fact, Renee and I have actually never met in person.
No.
So that's on our bucket list. But I live in California. I have been in the industry, like I said, almost 4 years. I think like my job title technically is project manager, but I definitely use the term like assistant pretty interchangeably just because it's easier. More people kind of like get what that is. And I don't know. I'm married.
Oh, you're married.
I'm married about, and I have a lot of cats.
What's like your goal for the podcast?
Oh, okay. That's what we're doing. Podcast goals. Okay, my goal, gosh, I think I really want this to like turn into something where we can like truly help other people get into roles similar to ours. Like whether that's training other girls or like I have my own business now. But that's like a pretty new thing only since August of 2021. But like eventually I know I'll need to hire people. And I just want to find a way where like you and I can kind of like grow the Right Hand Gals and find new opportunities to help people fill roles like ours. But like majorly, I just want to work with you. Like if I could just like figure out how you and I can work together, that would be ideal.
Yeah, that is a fun fact that Lyssa and I have never met each other in person, but like like transparently, one of like my best friends is Lyssa.
Oh,
and
totally.
I think it's because we talk so much and we don't technically work together like in the influencer marketing industry, like with our bosses.
Yeah,
But
right.
if I do ever have a question or if I'm ever going through something, Lyssa is who I go to.
Yes.
And I would like to say she like comes to me too whenever she has a question as well.
Absolutely. I mean, you know that I text you all the time.
So much. So many voice memos going back and forth between us.
Yes.
But yeah, I totally agree. And I could see that like we're obviously obviously not because you guys don't know us, but Lyssa and I are like really big on manifesting things.
Yes.
So I feel like we're constantly putting stuff out into the universe, like honestly, this podcast.
I know.
And so, hey, you never know. That'd be extremely cool. I'm not waving it out there, so I think it could happen.
I think so too. We have a lot of similar like life goals. I feel like you and I have had like the same kind of path the last few years. You and I both eloped in 2020. So if you're a 2020 bride out there,
we're with you.
Props to you. That was a tough year. And then we both had our weddings in 2021. So we kind of like had these big life events happen at the same time as each other. And I think that really helped us connect on more of a personal level as well. So, I mean, I just have to applaud you for sliding into my DMs way back when, because I had no idea what kind of life our friendship was going to take on. So if you are somebody who's like hesitant about making new friends in your late 20s, early 30s is so hard. And if there's somebody that you're like, I feel like we might actually hit it off, send them a message, because you never know. They could be your new best friend.
Yeah. I mean, I remember being so nervous about messaging you because, I mean, like, honestly, if you would have told me 5 years ago that I would be starting a podcast, I would be like, that's a sick joke. Like,
same.
I don't even like talking to random strangers on the street because I was just so terrified of talking to anyone. So it's kind of hilarious, like comical now that I'm sitting behind a mic talking to however many people are going to listen to this podcast. I hope a lot, but maybe there's just like 4 of you out there. And if there is, like, thank you so much for listening.
We love you.
I'm Renee. I live in Nashville. I'm from Houston originally. My husband's a musician, so we moved to Nashville. I've been here for about 3 years. Love it. It's like my favorite place on earth. I don't think we'll ever leave it to go anywhere else.
No, you're going to move to California. We have to be neighbors.
If I could afford a beautiful house in Santa Barbara with a bunch of citrus trees and a pool, I will be there. But, you know,
living the dream.
We'll see. We'll see in a couple years. I've been in the industry for about 1.5 years, close-ish to 2 years. And my goal for the podcast is to really like, to piggyback off of what you said, to start this community and like it to be a community and to help someone out there who would be nervous to get into this industry just because they don't know like what this industry is. Yeah. 1, to be those girls where we can just like help as many people as possible, but 2, to make this platform somewhere where women or men or women really, be able to come and like share their story of how they got into the industry or how they built their brand or if they're working like in a corporate environment, share what that looks like. Because I think because Instagram and TikTok, like there's a reason that those platforms are so big. And I think it's because people are really searching and wanting to build relationships. So I almost want to like just have a place where someone can come and share like where they started and like where they're at now or like what their dreams are, what their goals are. And I think people will really appreciate that. And I know I appreciate that whenever I listen to podcasts. I love listening to podcasts and just like hearing like, I mean, I like listening to like what people did last weekend, but like I love hearing about like what people's goals are and their dreams. And I think that's what this podcast could also be, along with like a sharing of how you can get into the industry and like our life in the industry. I think that's like something else, like super inspirational that we bring, and that is different than most podcasts, I would say.
Yeah. I think any way that we can kind of like open the floor to more stories and more advice and more encouragement, I think we would love to be able to do that, because there's no right or wrong way, really, to go after your dreams. Everybody's path has been so different. And I think any way that we can kind of share the mic with those stories would be so fun. I love hearing about other people's stories.
Yeah, and I think you kind of said this earlier, but like, you don't even have to work in the industry to really enjoy this podcast. You like, if you're a fan of like women in business, or like just curious about the industry, or like are interested in hearing about like our guests, like where they work, because I know we're going to get some people on here that like work on the brand side or that have started their own business. And luckily we have you who have started your own business. So
yeah, but just I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, but you know, that's kind of fun too. Like, I'm sure someone out there is also starting their own business, and that or like is dreaming about starting their own business, and they don't know what they're doing. So like, for us to be like the guinea pigs almost for this like behind the scenes industry, I think that's so cool, and I'm more than happy to be the guinea pig in this scenario.
Yes. Oh, I think we should talk about like maybe some of the topics that we're going to be hitting in different episodes. We've kind of like made a list. Like I said, we're assistants through and through here. So there are lots of lists going on in this podcast planning. But maybe we go over some of the topics. So just so that you can like kind of get an idea of different things that we're going to hit. And if there's something that you want us to talk about, we are on Instagram at the Right Hand Gals. Definitely send us a message there. We'd love to know what you want to hear about. But just for starters, these are some of the things that we will be talking about. Do you want to go?
Yeah. We're going to be talking about side projects. We're going to be talking about career paths. We're going to be talking about salaries and how to ask for a raise, how to negotiate your salary. Fears in the industry, networking, and like the burning question that everyone has always asked us, what it's truly like to work for an influencer.
Yes. So we're going to be hitting all kinds of topics. And if you can't tell already, we are talkers when it comes to Renee and I. We can talk on the phone for hours, on FaceTime for hours. So we'll have lots of fun stuff to talk about with all of these topics. I'm really excited for the salary one. I think that's going to be like my favorite episode.
My favorite, I already know, is networking, because I love talking about networking and the importance of it, which Lyssa hates talking about networking.
I don't, but I hate networking. So networking will be, I'll be learning along with you from Renee, because
that's not true. You're totally cutting yourself short here.
Oh my gosh. But like the thought of going to like a networking event terrifies me.
I think Lyssa sees networking as this like
it's
job
so
fair
scary.
Almost.
Yes, that's exactly what I see.
You literally see it as when you're in like high school and you're like going to the job fair and you see like all of these old guys in their sweater vests, like, and you had to go and talk to them. And you really want the donut from their table, but like that's what you see networking as.
100% what I see.
And like networking, but we work in a very
fun industry.
So it's very different than that. Networking to me, like, honestly, I think me reaching out to you on Instagram was like, in a way, networking. So it's not that scary, you guys, but we're going to dig a little deeper into that later on. Lyssa's going to feel a lot better about it too.
I can't wait. It'll be so exciting. I love networking.
Amazing. Okay, well, we are going to be launching each episode every Thursday. We're also going to be putting these episodes on YouTube. So if you're into YouTube, go check out our faces. Lyssa's doing the Vogue right now for anyone that's not watching on YouTube.
You can come see our faces on YouTube.
And we're so excited to get this going. We're so excited for someone to like finally hear this because
Yes.
like I said, it's just been like us dreaming about this and talking back and forth like through voice memes and FaceTime dates and phone calls. And so it's really cool that we're going to be able to start this community and really just like share about our lives and this amazing industry that we're like so excited and really lucky to be a part of.
Oh, yeah. I think anyone who's ever talked to me knows how much I love what I do and how passionate I am about this industry. So it kind of feels like the natural progression of like loving what you do so much to now be able to share it with, I feel like it's just like an endless amount of people. Maybe like Renee said, maybe it's 4 of you today, which hello, love all 4 of you. But in case one day it's more than that, we're just like so excited to be here. And if you're listening, thank you so much. Like, you're already so cool just for being here.
Yeah, thank you for supporting us. Thank you for taking time out of your day to listen to us. But also, please use us and, like, ask questions if you have questions.
Send us a message.
Something that we're also really excited about, and I think we want to share, is we are not claiming to know everything about this industry.
Gosh, no.
We've really started this to have a conversation and to get other people involved in the conversation.
Yeah.
So just remember that. Like, if you mess something up,
we're not claiming to know it all, experts or anything like that. But I think there's so much power in creating this community and creating relationships, in sharing stories from other people. So I think there's just like a huge opportunity here for everybody to just kind of enjoy themselves and find like a fun way to learn more about, I'm just going to say, careers in general, because at the end of the day, we are all just working people. We're all just out here trying to get through our jobs and enjoy it. And I think if you get that second part down, then you are far more successful than most people.
Yeah, I totally agree. Well, like I said, we will see you next Thursday for a new episode.
Woo-hoo.
And we are your right-hand gals, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.